Alright, so here are all the pieces that are left from the top. And those are all right there. It's kind of nice. I can select those UVs and use this to my advantage. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the top. I'm going to finish the top here real quick and show you how I do that. So now I'm going to find out where the rest of these faces are. And there's a ton of them. So I want to get the inside of the edge here. I want to get the bottom of this and the inside of that and the inside of this. Okay, we don't want we can use the same texture space for all those if we want to, because it's all going to be brushed aluminum. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and into the UV texture editor. Alright, so now I'm going to find out what these pieces are going. So I'm going to go to the face. I'm guessing these are somewhere all around the edge of the can. And so I'm going to hit the F key and I'm going to rotate around, and there they are. Okay, so I've got to find these edges on the inside. Okay, so we can get those squared away. So back, this is what's nice about a 2-monitor system, and it's kind of nice. Okay, so I think this is probably it right here. Let's take a look and see what that's doing. There we go, that's the inside. Very good. So now I'm going to find all of those. And did it grab all of them? Yes, it did. Alright, so let's get those. And so it's all the big ones. So here's those. Okay. So let's put these together. Let's go to UV. And there's a couple big pieces here. And I'm guessing I'm going to put all these together. We can take all of those and sew them if we wanted to. Let's go to select faces, select all those, and notice that it's all of those inside. Okay, so we got all those inside. What we're going to do is we can do the inside and the outside, but I'm just going to do one at a time so I can give you an idea. I'm going to go in here to create UVs. I'm going to go to cylindrical mapping again for this part. Reset. Project. Okay. So, and since we don't have any type or text in here, I'm not really too worried about where the seams are. It doesn't matter to me at all. Okay. Alright, so let's select those. And they're all moved, they're all sewed and moved. And all we need to do is scale them down. Okay. Actually, scale them uniformly and then scale them down like this. And what we're going to do here is a lot of times I'll look at what I have on my can, the distance between the top and bottom, and kind of get those squished to where they're supposed to. And here, there we go. And so I know that's the top of my pop can, or in the sides. I'm going to squish that down a little bit. Okay, but I want to keep that uniform, okay, to this. So I need to give room for my pieces here, top or bottom. Okay, so there's a big piece right there. Okay, and I gotta give it a little bit space here so we can paint. Okay, alright, there we go. Alright, so there's one UV. Let's go to the top, and you can see that a lot of these UVs look similar. So let's go to UVs and let's move these UVs that look similar, since now we know what we're doing. Okay, there we go. And we're going to select all those faces. Instead of moving and sewing, we're just doing this. And there's the outside. Oops. So there's the outside pieces. Looks great. I'm letting Maya automatic mapping do all the work for us. So I'm going to go to create UVs, cylindrical mapping. project, go into UVs, right click, UVs, and I'm just gonna continue working. You guys got the idea. I'm gonna do what I did before. And since this is the outside, I do kind of want to give this a little bit more. There we go. And let's move those. Okay, I'm gonna need to move this guy or scale him or do something. So I'm gonna select a little bit of him, right click and go to select shell. Let's move and scale him down just a little bit because I'm going to need more room for my texture, UV texture space for all this stuff here. There we go. Kind of want to scale him about the same if I can. There we go. Alright, keep it about the same. There we go. It's the same amount of texture space. Now we're getting down to the nitty gritty here. These will all look the same. So I'm going to click on faces and see if they are. I'm going to go into here and see where those are at. So those are the inside. Looks like we're missing some. Okay, just want to look around here, make sure I don't select anything else accidentally. Looks like I've got some bottom pieces. So we've got some bottom pieces mixed in with the top. Okay, they're about the same size, so it's hard to tell, and that can happen when you do UV mapping, or when you do automatic mapping, that is. Alright, so what do we do here? Let's take a look at these a little closer, see if we can't differentiate the UVs, separate them out a little bit. I know these are the same. Okay. So let's take a look and see what we got. I'm going to hit the 4 key. Alright, so I'm going to go into face. Select that one. That's on the top. So we will take the top, move that down in here, and let's see if this is a face. It's front, on top. Yep. So let's bring that over. Okay, I'm guessing these are the bottoms now. So let's check that out. Yep, those are the bottom. Okay, leave those up there. And let's see what these are. And that's the top. That's good. So let's move those down. Let's see if these are the top. And they are, so that's the last of the top there, so we're getting closer. Select the UVs, there we go. So now, I'm guessing these are all the bottom. Okay. Alright, so let's select all the faces here. And let's go into, now a lot of times you notice that I go back and forth between 4 and 5 when I'm modeling and texturing. That way I can, because in 4 I can see kind of through and make sure I don't have anything selected. I do that all the time. Alright, so now I'm going to go in here and do a cylindrical mapping on the inside. Click project. Go in here, do the same old thing. Yada yada yada. Move. Scale. Squash. Okay, and move over. Alright, so I'm going to take a little more space over here I'm going to make that a little bit smaller. Okay. And let's bring it over here in between the two. Okay. Let's go to the faces here and do the same thing to the bottom since we're here. Let's make sure they're all selected. Hit the 5 key. And this time I don't have to really go into the cylindrical mapping. I know it's going to do its job. Just saving time now. And right clicking over UVs, select the UVs, move them, scale them, squish them down, and move them, and place them. Alright, it's not so important to get these exactly the same throughout, but it really depends on your mapping and what you need to map and what needs to be mapped at the time. So there's a lot of things you got to take in consideration when you lay out UVs. Let's select these guys and see what's going on. See if they're all over the place. Hit the 4 key. And then we're going to go in here and select all the faces and continue working. Now these are going to be a little bit different, and we've got to add more UVs along the edges to get this correct. So I'm going to go ahead and manually select these. Shift select the outside of this ring. Now since this is a cylindrical shape, we want to go ahead and make sure we UV map it as a cylinder. Okay, we don't want anything else selected, so hit the 4 key and deselect these guys in here. We don't want those part of this, that piece there. Okay, so I'm going to go in here and go into create UVs and cylindrical map. Okay, and did a good job. So I'm going to go in here, and that's what they look like. They might look a little strange, but they're all laid out right. I'm going to go in here, and again, squish, and move. So you can see we're knocking this out pretty good. And if I didn't have to talk, I'd have this done by now, but we got to take you through it piece by piece. Okay, we've got some weird pieces over here, so let's select those UVs, right click UV, and then move them over. And I'm guessing these are all part of this. So let's go ahead and see. Let's select all these faces here, and let's see where they belong. And sure enough, there they are. That's what I love about automatic mapping first. Okay, now what would I do with this piece? You could probably do planar mapping on those, and that might work. You'd have a little stretching in there. So I'm going to do cylindrical mapping and see how that works. And let's go into UVs. And it looks like we've got some folded UVs on themselves. Would you ever see those? I don't know. I don't want to risk it. So let's go in here. Let's go Control Z, and let's go into Edit or Create UVs and go Planar Mapping. This time we're going to go Best Plane and then Project. Okay. Now it did some weird stuff. Not sure if that's good. So I'm going to go Control Z back, and we're going to do a different attribute. So we're going to go Panel or Planar Mapping, and we're going to go along the z-axis and project. Okay, and it's still doing best plane, so let's go back here and make sure. I'm just going Control Z and create UVs, planar mapping, and turn off do bounding box and do z-axis. There it is, and it's going straight across. That's kind of what we want. I like that. Notice it's at an angle a little bit, so I'm going to show you something really cool. See this manipulator for sure, but this little cross or a T, click on it, and click on this blue circle. Just click on it once, and you notice that it's kind of angled, but I want to move it around. I want to move it so it fits better. So I'm going to move that angle a little bit. Okay, so it is in line. I know it's hard to see, but it's right here. Goes across there. I'm going to go into... There it is. See, there's no crossed UVs. And that's what you're looking for. It's a little raggedy looking, but I don't care. Go in here and see there's no crossed UVs, no intersecting UVs. So that's going to work a lot better. Just click on that. And let's squish that down. Okay, looks good. Alright, cool. Put that up here. So what's left? What do we have left here? Looks like the rim on the top. I like to keep the top and the bottom separate. So let's go look at the face. Select the faces on here.